Okay, so what I'm doing is I wanted to show you how I produce my show here on YouTube. So enjoy.
To places that we care about, whether it's major cities in the Middle East, Europe, or potentially the United States.
So basically here he's saying we're kind of screwing ourselves. We're kind of screwing ourselves. We're looking to get our butts kicked in the future. We're just helping them out. We're helping them to get our butts kicked in the future. Thank you.
You remind me that.
Thank you. Once again, I have to stop and say thank you, Mr. Bush. One more time.
There's a powerful, well-equipped, sophisticated force trying to catch them. In some ways, the individual fighter coming out of Iraq scares me a little bit more than that fighter that came out of Afghanistan 15, 20 years ago, because I think they're going to have more relevant skills to apply to places that we care about, whether it's major cities in the Middle East, Europe, or potentially the United States.
Wow.
You remind me that the administration lately has been talking less and less about the global of that.
Well, we don't call it a war against terrorism. We call it a war against Al-Qaeda. You know, our class on terrorism...
Okay. We don't call it... One more time. One more time.
20 years ago, because I think they're going to have more relevant skills to apply to places that we care about, whether it's major cities in the Middle East, Europe, or potentially the United States.
Both of you remind me that the administration lately has been talking less and less about the war on global terrorism, and more about, quote, the long war. What do you make of that?
Well, we don't call it a war against terrorism. We call it a war against Al-Qaeda. You know,
We call it a war against Al-Qaeda. What? They're 5% of the factions in Iraq. They're kind of being bombarded out of Afghanistan. What? I'm confused. Who are we at war with? It's about oil.
our class on terrorism starts 2,000 years ago.
Yes, right there, right there. Wasn't that great? Wasn't that great? Wasn't Bill just... What, okay, oh, hey, what? You mean we didn't need to go into this with military factions? You mean we didn't need to do that? Oh my God. We didn't have to do that. We could have gone in with our brain. They never found any weapons of mass destruction prior to starting this war. Now here we are, almost 5 years later, and looking that we're going to be here for at least another 3 to 5 years. And they're saying, well, we did this all wrong. Finally.
So the war, the global war on terror. And if you really look what Ryan said, it's a war against over-reliance on militarism.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes! Yes! Forgive all the background noise. When I pulled this off my TiVo, and unfortunately when you pull it off the TiVo and you record it on to MP3, it picks up everything in the frigging background. I don't care. But did you hear what he just said? I'm taking it back again.
In the war for the hearts and minds of Muslims. If Ryan says that I'm going to tell my officers, my cadets, basically to realize this particular war cannot be won on the battlefield. This particular war has to be won in terms of hearts and minds. We are losing this particular war, because he expanded, the administration, the president, expanded the war by over-reliance on militarism.
Yeah! Yes! Over-reliance on militarism! Oh my God. Oh my God. Is he saying the man's got a boner to go to war? That's basically what he's saying. The man's got a boner to go to war. He's going to rely on nothing more than his gun. Gun. Because he has no fucking brain at all. Oh, you don't know. And it took 20 minutes into that interview for him to say that. But I wanted to go into the TV and go, thank you!
On muscle, military power, instead of using
But these people, the president says these are the people killing us on 9/11. How do you deal with
yeah, once again, thank you, Bill. Yay, applause to you. I wish I had applause on my frickin'... that's one of the things I'm going to add. He lied to us about 9/11 in Iraq. They had nothing to do with each other. It's been shown time and time and time again. Why has this man not been impeached? Why has him and Dick Cheney not been impeached? Now, I'll tell you why, because I said it on my podcast. It's up on, my vidcast. It's up on YouTube. Because Nancy doesn't want the job. She doesn't want his slop. Who wants to take over for these two? I feel sorry for the Democrat that does get into office, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a Democrat. I don't know if it's going to be Barack and Hillary or Hillary and Barack, but it's going to be some combination like that. And they are going to have a mess to clean up. And if they don't get the troops out of there in that first 3 years that they're in office, they're not going to get reelected. And that's just ridiculous.
No one is suggesting in Iraq. The longer we stay in Iraq, the more we help Al-Qaeda spread its ideology.
The longer we stay, the healthier they get. We are fucking ourselves, thank you, Mr. President.
And tactics and Al-Qaeda ideology and tactics are truly spreading into many communities in the Arab and Muslim world.
Do you agree with the president who says repeatedly, has been saying for 2 months emphatically now, if we don't fight them there, we'll have to fight them here?
I think we're better off empowering Iraqis to take care of the Al-Qaeda inspired elements on the ground in Iraq today. I think it's likely that there are folks that have been inspired by Al-Qaeda's in Iraq's behavior in Iraq, or that have even been in Iraq with Al-Qaeda in Iraq, that are now outside of Iraq in a place like Lebanon or Syria or elsewhere in the Middle East.
My fear is that the so-called Al-Qaeda-centric approach, Al-Qaeda-centric approach, Bill, is to lump all activists and militants together.
Once again. Yay, thank you. Thank you for telling the truth about what this man is doing. He's lumping everybody together. He's making sure that we all think that, what we're doing in the Middle East is because of all these terrorists. That what we're doing in Iraq has to do with all these different terrorists. Excuse me. He's lied. Again and again and again. He's lied.
And since 9/11, if we haven't done anything.
To be continued. Brian Fishman, Fawaz Georges,
Wow.
Thank you very much for this very interesting discussion.
I mean, wow. That's all I can say is wow. I had to use it, and this is going to be a little bit longer show because I'm telling you what they just said. Why is it that was on PBS, Bill Moyers? Why are we hearing this from a lot more people in the mainstream media? It goes back to my last show, media sucks. Forgive me for taking a vacation, but I needed that couple of weeks off. It was just after my birthday, and in between a few other friends' birthdays. So it's like, perfect timing. Get all the Leos done. And then put this out there, because I knew it'd be a few weeks and after the fact, and I really wanted people to hear this. I wanted people to go, what the fuck? Why haven't we impeached this man? Well, the reason is because we don't have anybody below him that wants the job. We don't have a Congress or a Senate that's strong enough. I don't care if we are on that verge of control in the Democratic side. I don't know why I say we, because I'm not always in agreement with what's going on the Democratic side as well. But again, it's amazing. I'm not going to keep you much longer. Actually, I'm just going to play an outro song. That I love this song, and I've played it for you before. And I'll be back next week. I enjoy this too much, and I'm sure I'll find another topic that drives me as heavily as this has. Yeah. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.